Meanwhile, over in New York last week, the pro-Palestinian white liberal feminists decided the really noble thing was to attack the anti-Khomeini Iranians. You couldn't make this stuff up.
Iranian people peacefully having a protest, and these Antifa Democrats just to show up and turn up, anti-ICE.
And at the same time, another proud feminist, Sia Weaver, has now been appointed by New York's Islamo-communist Mayor Zoran Mamdani to protect tenants. What does she have in mind, I wonder? Here's a video of her that has resurfaced recently.
I think the reality is that for centuries we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good, and we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good and towards a model of shared equity will require that we think about it differently, and it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners as well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one that we currently have.
Oh, really? So if she has her way, white New Yorkers and some New Yorkers of colour too will soon have a different relationship to property than they currently have. Out with individual ownership and in with collective ownership. Here's a young individual returning home to his and his wife's apartment in the Bronx.
Yuri, this is Comrade Yelkin, our local delegate. He lives here.
Oh, how do you do? Welcome.
Sorry, my mistake. That was a scene from the movie Dr. Zhivago, when during the Russian Revolution, Soviets also switched from individual property ownership to collective property ownership. Spoiler alert, it does not end well. Meanwhile, speaking of revolution, the bravest feminists in the world, and indeed the bravest feminists for decades, are of course the astonishingly brave women of Iran. Yes, of Iran, who, despite being ignored by the cowardly feminists of the West, are risking life and limb in their struggle against the evil, sexist, misogynistic oppression of Iran's tyrannical mullahs. Watch this young woman and weep for her bravery. That moment of desperation and courage was captured in this one astonishing image, an image which has in turn become its own iconic poster of the struggle for freedom. There is not a single feminist throughout the 21st century as brave as that young woman. Let's hope her courage and self-sacrifice end this ghastly regime. But where have the so-called third wave feminists of the West and of Australia been? Let's check in, shall we? Why, here in Australia, our brave feminists like Louise Adler, Jane Caro, Kathy Lett, Jacinda Ardern and so many others grabbed the headlines with their ever so brave and courageous boycotting of a regional writers' festival. Why? Because a radical pro-Palestinian anti-Zionist, Randa Abdel Fattah, was disinvited from the programme. But standing up for Iranian women? Nope, haven't heard anything about that from our fearless Aussie feminists. Over in Britain, the lovies and the acting elites have previously worked themselves up into a lather, not trying to get terrorists out of the country, but they've been trying to get an alleged Islamist extremist, Alaa Abd El Fattah, back into the country. Am I spotting a pattern here?
Minister, I'm making this video because I, like a lot of people, and I should imagine yourself included, are deeply concerned about the situation that Alaa Abdel Fattah finds himself in currently in an Egyptian prison.
Again, I must have missed the video where Bill Nye Olivia Colman, Brian Cox, Judi Dench, Emma Thompson, and all the other lovies got together and demanded the release of the thousands of Iranians now crowding Iranian prisons, many about to be hung or murdered for supporting their own freedom marches. Disgraceful. Not to be outdone, over in Hollywood, the virtue-signalling kingpins like Mark Ruffalo, Cynthia Nixon, and so on, are busy fretting about Gaza and immigration agents, the ICE mob and Donald Trump, anything rather than protest to help the Iranians. Yes, could there be anything more sickening than the woke world of virtue-signalling celebrities? In fact, here is my Best Actors Award of the Year, the Golden Gob, for the most appalling, smug celebrity of the lot, Mark Ruffalo.
We got literally stormtroopers running around terrorizing, and as much as I love all this, I don't know if I could pretend like this crazy stuff isn't happening. We have a president who says the laws of the world don't apply to him and we could rely on his morality, but he has no morality. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave the world? So I love these people, I love being here, I love you, but I also can't, it's so hard to pretend anymore.
Pass the sick bag. Sorry, I don't know, Mark. Looks to me like you're doing a pretty good job of pretending, virtue signalling every single day, pretending to care for everyone on the planet, except, of course, those Iranian protesters who've been killed. Must have slipped your mind somehow. But let's end with another brave and courageous woman speaking up on behalf of the Iranian protesters, a true feminist.
Iranian here. They keep asking the same question. Why are lefties, why are the loudest pro-Gaza voices completely silent when it comes to Iran? Well, the answer is simple, because the truth exposes the lie. They will chant free Palestine, but they will never say free Iran, because that will require admitting something unforgivable, that political Islam is not liberation, it is domination. And that is exactly what's been happening in the West, by the way.
A true freedom fighter. Couldn't have put it better myself. Just when it comes to the double standards of the modern left, it truly is a world gone mad.